Well, I have believed in William Ruto since its times as Eldoret North Member of Parliament when I was still young. But he's a man of his words. He walked the talk. You know, the third regime and the fourth regime kept putting us in a short-term solutions. And the current regime, in as much as we go through a lot of pain, it has decided to take the long-term, to implement the long-term things. Because when you carry forward your problems, it will still catch up with you. Yeah. So that is what it does now. And even Mudavadi once said that we will go through pain in 2023. We'll go through pain for 3 years. So by mid of 2026 or by that budget, when they will be reading that budget in its last, the last budget in its first term, I think we will have some relaxation because much shall have been done. He said that we will start the super highway to the western part of this country. If that is done, I think that will expand the economy of that area. You remember that many allocations were going to one region. And that was
inakuja tonga nguvu by the name of Ochino, the Kenyan is a man, a boy, and also our friend. And of course, when we say seated here, it's because we're having a conversation that you've requested for us to have. And of course, today's conversation is a conversation surrounding the review of the ODM at 20 celebrations that happened over the weekend. A lot has been said. A lot of people have commented online, but they requested for us to have Speaker Haggai Thenye. Some people still call him Speaker Haggai Thenye due to his role that he played, monumental role that he played at the Bunge la Mwananchi platform and transformed it into what it is today, though currently is the Secretary General Bunge la Mwananchi.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Karibu.
I'm very much humble.
Some people are still calling you Speaker. Even in the comment section, they're saying Speaker, nice analysis, Speaker, Speaker.
You know, once a speaker, always a speaker.
Yeah.
Once a soldier, always a soldier.
Yeah.
So we know moderation and know what is to be said, what not to be said.
Yeah.
We are diplomats by nature.
Yeah. Even before we get into the topic of the day,
yeah.
Umekuwaje since the last time that we were here with you seated?
Not bad. We are only working day and night to ensure that our lives are in good trajectory, so that the future generation do not suffer, and also working hard to ensure that the society is well informed. We live in a honest society. Honesty, you cannot accuse the macro environment. Honesty starts with you. Yeah. Yeah. So that is what we are continuing to spearhead. We learn day by day. Yeah. And to ensure that we serve our purpose in a manner that pleases mankind. Yeah.
Getting to now in the conversation of the day, we've had previous two guests here previously, and when you listen to just the way they are summarizing the event, it's like each and every person has a very different view according to how they understood and they interpreted the events that happened at the ODM at 20. For you as Haggai Thenye, and also as a person who has seen the ODM party grow through the years, when you saw the ODM celebrations at 20 over the 3 days, what was the general overview of that celebration?
Well, by and large, unquestionably and purposely, imagination by many of Odinga phobia or the Raila phobia. They wish, and they started long time ago to say that ODM will fall. But we as Odinga maniacs, Raila maniacs, we are saying that ODM is there to stay. And I was very much pleased in a house whereby maybe a father dies or things like that. You know, each and everyone now is struggling to be on the top. And that is normal in any society, African society. So we shouldn't talk ill of what happened. It is nature. It happened in Africa, ANC of South Africa. It has happened also in CCM of Tanzania, of Julius Kambarage Nyerere and Nelson Mandela ANC. When Nelson Mandela died and when Julius Kambarage Nyerere died in 1999. So we remain optimistic that ODM will still remain intact. ODM was not just a party, but a movement which fought hand in hand to ensure that we have a democratic society, we have a good governance society, both county government and also national government. So ODM is in our spirit It is in majority of spirits, and that is why you see in Coast, many people align themselves with the ODM. When you go to Nyanza, when you go to Western, it is a national kind of movement. It's a spirit. Yeah, so we know who speaks the truth and who doesn't. Yeah. Based on what happened, and judgment will come when the day come. And I was also pleased when President went there as the co-founders of Orange Democratic Movement. If you had former chairperson Henry Kosgei, how he's spoken, and also currently we have a very active chairperson, Gladys Wanga. They mean well for the party. The party owner, just as I had said, told us to be in government. I met him and he repeated that we be in government. That is where he left us. So we want to urge that antagonists who are currently trying to speak something against that, being in government is not legal. And ODM, since its formation, has spearheaded the issue of ensuring that we have a working government, legitimacy. Because, you know, in our country, it is 50 plus 1. 50 plus 1 for the winner. Yeah. And no, in our country, which is a kind of a communal country, negative ethnicities there, it's not easy. So Odinga has to chip in and to ensure that there is stability in governance of this country. And he never did that out of greed, as some people might have judged him. So all in all, ODM has also ensured that we have a strong governance structure in this country. In successive regime, we have you remember the National Accord, and you remember the Jubilee, the handshake, and now the broad-based government. So we are in broad-based government to ensure that even the manifestos of Orange Democratic Movement, the universal health coverage, the housing, we also have the infrastructure, we also have agriculture, subsidizing fertilizers. Those who are in ODM manifesto. And you remember that the current president was also a co-founder of Orange Democratic Movement. But just to say, you remember sometimes that Raila is saying that Raila said that Ruto is implementing some of their manifestos, and that is good. And he was following that the 10-point agenda which were raised to be fully implemented to ensure that human rights and things like that are fully enshrined. So I would like to say that we are in the right trajectory. You know, change cannot just happen once, bit by bit. So we'll urge the president also to speed up in implementing those things, such that by 2027 we don't have a difficulty in securing 50 plus 1. That is what I would like to iterate. Yeah. And based on what happened in Orange Democratic Movement at 20, I think it was superb. I give them 80% over 100. People will just come to listen to one another. We know those people, and we know people who also have gone to other parties. They went to Wiper and they were promised of deputy party leader of Wiper, so they should not disturb us. How can you be deputy party leader of Wiper, and again when you come to ODM you want to be a leader of ODM? It doesn't augur well. You want to be a party leader, and we have seniors who form the party and have not agitated for that. So we need also to be very fair in our agitation. And I would like to urge youths of this country, in as much as we want to be on the table, we must also look into what we say and how we say it and how we appeal to the general public, because discipline is very paramount for you to progress in the right direction. You cannot claim that you want to bring change and you belittle the elders. Yeah. That is shouldn't be allowed. Yes.
And just ODM as a party, it has been known to be a party that has been calling out the government, has been checking the government for the longest time. Though a lot of people might call that ODM is an opposition party, but I'll just say it has been an oversight party. It has been calling out the government when the government is wrong. The previous governments, since ODM was formed, but now it seems like some members in ODM have an issue with people calling out the government, people correcting the government, especially if those people are coming from ODM, because they are now seeing it as ODM is now part of the government. So some of them are not comfortable with members of the ODM party calling out the government, criticizing the government. Are you seeing this as a risk to ODM, in that ODM, if not careful, they might lose their one of their most identical or one of their most unique gestures or their unique qualities as a democratic party in the Republic of Kenya?
Well, by and large, as enshrined in the 2010 promulgated constitution, that Kenyans need to be well informed that since the inception of the 2010 promulgated constitution, there's no opposition. And again, there's no antagonizing. We have the minority and the majority. And therefore, whoever claims that ODM should be in opposition is not well informed of our constitution. And that is why I urge Kenyans to read the constitution on a daily basis so that they are well informed on what they say. By ODM joining government, just as I had commenced by saying, it was just for the sake of stability of this country. And that is why we call for constitutional change 2028, immediately after we re-elect President William Samoei Ruto, so that we change this constitution to ensure that we change some of the things which have really jeopardized, so that the winner, once you are allowed the winner, you can take the government and show people your skills in governing this country, because currently, as enshrined in this constitution, that 50+1, I think will not be workable. Just to say, so whoever claims that ODM was formed for to be opposing government, there's nothing like that. After all, when God created mankind, when God created man, He brought us to work together, find solutions together, and ensuring that there is everything for everyone. And that is what is there. That has been there for ODM, ensuring that we have a stable environment so that our traders can go on with their work. Our agriculture can do better. We cannot be where we oppose everything. For instance, if a road is to be constructed in a certain place, why should we take petition to stop it? So I think those are some of the loopholes in this constitution which is derailing the performance of governance. You remember the recruitment of police officers, how it was delayed due to some of the things which are not even explanatory in basic law. So I think that need to be looked into. So ODM, by ODM being in government, ODM was not meant to be in opposition. And they joined government to ensure that they work partly with government, and to be sincere, they have performed well, especially in currency stability under the leadership of National Treasury and Economic Planning Cabinet Secretary, FCPA John Bade. We have also other cabinet secretaries. We have Beatrice School, who was ensuring that East Africa is well cooperating in terms of trade and things like that. We have mining, which is now digitized, to ensure that our mineral resources are not going to waste, people are not dying. And this has also necessitated stability of our currency, because the strength of our currency, maintaining 129 Kenya shillings against the international currencies isn't a walk in the park. We have also energy, which is still not doing well, but I know they will up their game. So by ODM being in government, we are helping to ensure that mankind, Kenyans, are served well. I think William Ruto at 3, let them speed up to ensure that by mid of 2026, everyone will be saying we are in the right direction.
Yeah. Just still on the same issue, going forward now, how can ODM now itself ensure that they don't risk losing their identity, in terms of members who are within ODM can also just feel free to at least call out the government, even if it's not opposed, but at least call out, correct the government as they have been doing before, and not feel as if they are going to be labeled as dissenting voices within ODM. A good example is a person in the place of Babu Owino has been very vocal in calling out the government, where he feels as an MP, also as a Kenyan, that the government is not doing correct, and he also comes out to give flowers where the government is going right, but some people within the government are seeing him as a dissenting voice. Babu Owino being an example, there are also other elements within the party that from time to time they'll call out the government in a project or in a ministry or in any development that the government is doing. For you as Haggai, how can you advise or suggest that ODM faces that hurdle now that they're also part of the government without losing their identity as ODM?
Well, you have spoken so well, and just to say, pointing on areas where the government doesn't work well it's the responsibility of every citizen, I included, and also those leaders. But it should not be done at the expense of political mileage. Because if you are pointing fingers, what have you done in Parliament to ensure that you come up with a good amendments act so that we have a constitution that works? In fact, that is the best place to make rules, laws and regulations. That is their work, rather than coming to rant. When an MP cries in public, you should go to Parliament and ensure that you mobilize members. In fact, even not mobilizing, the attendance of Parliament is so down. They need to be there to ensure that they come up with good rules and regulations which can ensure that each and everyone is responsible. You remember I started by saying that each and everyone should be responsible of himself or herself, because through that we will not go against the law. Like the military, if you watch how they conduct themselves, they are well trained. You say left hand, right hand, attention, at least everyone knows what to do. So that should be inculcated in our basic education system. That should be inculcated in our basic education system so that each and everyone knows his or her role. But so pointing where the government doesn't do well is the responsibility of everyone. And it should not be seen as a way of now wanting to be achieve or to achieve political mileage. Because when you look at what he was talking about, things to do with food stability or cost of lack of food, the government is working on that. And also when you look at the issue of education, the employment of 76,000 teachers, the employment of 10,000 police officers to curb insecurity, teachers also to look into education. I think that is a milestone for our country. One thing the government also need to look on is the issue of ghost workers. I think that will also be become so that currency. And just to say, I'm amongst people who are now advocating for constitutional change 2028 because we want a lean government so that we looked into development economy rather than recurrent economy, right? Because currently we elect 6 people. We want a way where we elect only president, we elect governor to cater for the county, and maybe MCA to legislate the county, and member of parliament, so that we do away with all these things. Because if it is women rep, there are some women who have become governors, they have become MPs, so that we do away with the public wage bill, because that is also something which will derail development, because a lot of money goes into salary. If you look at those governors, each and everyone has fuel guzzler. Their county executive committee members have fuel guzzlers. If you go to MP, the same. And these people, when you combine that, it really leads to wastage, and you find that most money, most resources goes into recurrent expenditure rather than creating a development so that it can create jobs for the ordinary Kenyans. So we need also to look into that sector to ensure that how do we reduce public wage. And maybe this issue of ghost workers. You remember it has been stated recently by the Ministry of Education that we have 87,000 students who are getting money from the Ministry of Education, and you cannot trace them in the system. Why are these things happening? So that need to be looked into. A serious government will start with that, so that we ensure that we sort out the issue of unemployment. That alone can sort 40% of unemployment rate if that is well clean. And if those resources are also needed to do development, I think we will have 10%, and we will be in good projection by mid of 2027 Ochino. Yeah.
Also now, just shifting gears and looking at President William Ruto, who attended the event as a founder member.
Yes.
And in his speech, what came out very clearly is that he spoke
and I was very much pleased by his attendance.
He talked about his track record in ODM. He also talked about his track record and the development projects that he started doing, he's initiating, and the ones that he's going to launch. For you, what stood out in his speech during that dinner at Sarova, Mombasa for the ODM at 20 Celebrations Founders event?
Well, when you check into ODM party website, you remember the issue of universal health coverage was there, the issue of infrastructure. You remember Raila Odinga is the one who did this Thika highway and many roads this standard gauge railway. Those were part and parcel of Orange Democratic Movement manifesto. And when I met Raila and sat down with him, he explained that those were some of his things, and if Ruto is delivering them, then there's no problem. And even he said in public, you can remember one of his quotes, I think you came across, that if the government is delivering, it doesn't matter who delivers. And even the president himself has iterated that in this election, he was comfortable with anyone who had come winner. Even in that ODM at 20, he's spoken about that. So, part and parcel of ODM manifesto is being implemented. Infrastructure, to ensure that we have houses, we have roads. And currently, in as much as we go through pain, but at the end of it, it will lower the cost of rent, the cost of real estate, and such like things, so that people can live to a standard of this country. Let us take this country to a middle income economy, second middle class economy. That is the Nini by Vision 2030, as enshrined in the Vision 2030. And you find that the NAC government and the Jubilee government never did it because of some conflict of interest of ensuring that they are privatized certain sectors. So, by William Ruto being there, we were very happy because he is implementing the ODM manifesto. Housing, infrastructure, just as I have said, the issue of food security, those were part and parcel of ODM structure. One thing we want to tell them, that in the MDS, ministries, departments, and also agencies, those ones which are not providing profit by ensuring that they expound on their operation, I think they should take full responsibility. Those who are in those running those institutions must take full responsibility, and they need to be put into book. Why are they not remitting a good amount of taxes to Kenyans, or why are they not creating opportunity for the youth? Because we have many agencies, many state departments which are not, and I'm very much pleased with what MSME under the leadership of PS Mangeni is doing in the MSME and also Oparanya, because that will create loopholes for many people to do business and ensure that they grow. So each and every state department, like state department of MSME, all state departments must copy that, so that they thrive and ensure that they are in the right trajectory to ensure that we expand our economy, so that this country has many opportunities, and if they are well utilized, we can have everything for each and everyone. And
also just looking at also President William Ruto's administration, or the kind of developments in terms of infrastructure, in terms of just changing the systems, implementing new policies, implementing new laws. It's like this administration under President William Ruto has created a very new or a very unique situation whereby the president of the day, in his first term, he is doing something that a lot of the presidents before, Kenya presidents previously, were doing only in their second terms. How will it make now the administration's tenure different from the previous administration that was there, which saw a lot of their infrastructure projects, a lot of their development projects happen in the second term as compared to the current one, where a lot of projects are being initiated in the first term of power?
Well, I have believed in William Ruto since his times as Eldoret North Member of Parliament when I was still young. But he's a man of his words. He walked the talk. The third regime and the fourth regime kept putting us in short-term solutions. And the current regime, in as much as we go through a lot of pain, it has decided to take the long-term, to implement the long-term things. Because when you carry forward your problems, it will still catch up with you. So that is what it does now. And even Mudavadi once said that we will go through pain in 2023. We'll go through pain for 3 years. So by mid of 2026, or by that budget, when they will be reading that budget in its last, the last budget in its first term, I think we will have some relaxation, because much shall have been done. He said that we will start the super highway to the western part of this country. If that is done, I think that will expand the economy of that area. You remember that many allocations were going to one region. And that wasn't fair. And currently roads, they are nini, and their governors are very happy. So I think His Excellency William Ruto has taken full responsibility of ensuring that we have equitable distribution of resources. Road network, we have electricity network, we have water supply in numerous areas, so that this will nini well with the people and ensure that economy growth is felt even in the interior parts of Kenya. Through that is when people will get help, because even Turkana, they need water, they need electricity, they need good roads, rather than taking that money allocation. You remember the budget and allocation committee by then took resources to one constituency. In fact, the chairman took everything to that one constituency. And that wasn't well. You find that how can one constituency develop than others? Because the allocation was too much there. So individualism and centeredness has really made our country not to thrive economically. And by His Excellency President ensuring that development is felt in each and every area, I think that is a good gesture, and it should be supported. And the long-term solutions must be fully implemented so that Kenyans can start developing themselves by 2027 going forward, so that by 2030, I think we are in the 70% achievement of vision of that vision. We might not achieve it on time, but I think by that time we'll have a good percentage to ensure that we are in the right trajectory.
Finalizing now, due to I think we're having some technical problems also on our side. Finishing now with the topic of the by-elections. This is a topic that we have discussed here several times with you, and now it is even closer more than ever. In the next 1 week and a half, we're going to the elections. For ODM party, is it the situation in Kasipul? Is it one of their hardest tasks in terms of now past Raila Amolo Odinga, or is it now that because they have new leadership, they have at least they don't have loopholes as it was before, they are now focused on at least ensuring that they clinch that seat? I'm asking that because a lot of people on the ground are saying that the ground is not in favor of ODM party. For you as Haggai Thenye, as a person who also comes from Homa Bay County, your home county, will the new restructuring of ODM party have an influence in the way the ground is going to vote in the elections of Kasipul by elections?
Well, thank you, Chino. We unconditionally support ODM candidates for the sake of respect to the late political icon Raila Amolo Odinga. And we wish well Boyd Were in Kasipul. We wish him well, despite some misunderstanding at the nomination. But for the sake of Raila Amolo Odinga and respect for him, I would urge Kasipul Kabondo to vote him. But also Boyd must roll out, must nini his sleeves to ensure that he delivers within that shortest period of time, ensuring that he empowers education system by giving them using constituency development fund, ensuring that he develops education system in that constituency. So he must work. Once he's voted, we wish him well, but he must work for the people. And the issue of killings and fightings, I think that should be sorted. They need to come together and talk, because each and everyone deserve life. So that need to be looked into. Otherwise, we wish them there. Well, coming to Ugunja, the nomination was done so well, and I haven't heard of any squabbles or different factions fighting. So with Ugunja, I think that's a clear win, and I would urge the ODM candidate to ensure that he goes back and serve his people, because one service delivery. Magarini also, I remain optimistic we are going to win. Kariobangi North, member of county assembly, we are going to bag that, and we wish them well. So, but once they are elected, they must serve, because in 2027 we want ODM to conduct a free and fair party nominations, which will enable even those who are defeated to agree that they have been defeated fairly, so that we go back to our lost glory. In 2007 we had many seats. These seats have been reducing until 2022. So that should be the case. We want more seats, and even eat into some political parties regions which will not do a good party nomination. We want a vibrant party, a very big party which will accommodate each and every Kenyan irrespective of their ethnic background, political affiliation, and also their levels in the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Because it is only through that will have a strong political party system that will enable Kenyans and Kenyan youth to be incorporated and take part in national building. Because it is only through political parties and through leadership, going into county assembly, going into national assembly, that will allow us to make good rules or laws that will govern our country. So I wish them well, and rest assured, ODM, one day, one time after this election, we will sit with you here. ODM will get Kasipul, Ugunja, Magarini, and Kariobangi North ward. And those three constituencies, we are going to get those seats so that ODM becomes a big party and a strong party, right? Yeah.
Actually, also speaking about the by-elections in Ugunja, I have a comrade who were with him in a campus, Vincent Olengo. Alijamua ni vijana, his time is now, and he went ahead and saizi ako kwa ballot. We're wishing him the best also. He has put in a lot of campaigns. He consider the small resources akonayo, but he has really tried. And I think that also shows that ODM or the Nyanza population is also ready to embrace new faces in politics.
New faces,
and rising leaders.
Rising leaders. Because only through that we'll have a good working system, political parties working system like the ANC and CCM, just as I have said, ensuring that everything is free and fair, so that people elect the leaders they like, both in Nairobi, in Nyanza, Western Coast, Northeastern, parts of Rift Valley, and parts of Mount Kenya, so that we need together. We strengthen that party for the sake of Raila Amolo Odinga. The late Raila Amolo Odinga, he really contributed a lot, and we have a very thankless society. It's very unfortunate that only 11 governors attended. Governor of Kisii, Governor of Trans Nzoia, Governor of Bungoma, Kakamega, Busia, Vihiga, Homa Bay, Migori, Kisumu, Siaya, and Mombasa, and Wajir. Only those governors attended the burial. And all these governors, other governors, they are enjoying whatever they are enjoying because of the fight of, we even lost Dr. Odhiambo. You remember? It was very unfortunate. So let us be a thankful society. When a man has struggled, let's go and show him respect at his time of last respect. I think that was not auguring well. Even senators, I didn't see many senators, so I think that wasn't good. That wasn't good. So let us thank, because it is through ODM that has struggled to ensure that we have good governance of this country. The county governments and the national government, through the handshakes and through the post-election agreement of working together.
Sasa Haggai, shukran sana for coming.
Thank you very much.
And as I've said before, moving forward also, now that ODM especially, it has rebranded now, it has a new leadership going forward, at least the baby steps now that they are having Pastor Raila Amolo Odinga, if you'll get time, anytime that we call you, at least avail yourself.
Anytime, so that I told you anytime. And we support Dr. Mbeere Odinga. We support Dr. Mbeere Odinga unconditionally, party leader.
Youth leader.
And we support FCPA John Badi. We support him so that they work together with Mbeere Odinga to strengthen ODM and ensure that ODM is a big party with more member of parliament, over 200, 35 governors and senators, and many, so that we work together.
Sasa shukran sana. And also for the people who are watching from home, and maybe this is your first time watching, and maybe at a topic or two topics that we've discussed here, the comments or the analysis of Haggai Thenye haijakufurahisha, hapa chini kwa comment section you have a chance to also give us your opinion, give us your comment, so that when also Haggai goes ahead and sits down and watches this interview, he'll see your comment, and maybe he can be able to have a different opinion, a different view from what he believes politically. I've been host Ochino, the only Kenyan who is a man, and also a friend. Till next time, keep it locked.
Thank you.